Welcome to another episode of the e-commerce lab by Ecomcy, the place of everything related to Amazon FBA and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, founder and CEO of Ecomcy, and today we come back with another session of questions and answers. After I believe 2 or 3 weeks, I was traveling around, so now I'm back in the office, full power again. So, as everybody knows, or maybe for the people that joining for the first time, these sessions are going to be running every Tuesday at 5 p.m. GMT time on a weekly basis. And the purpose of this course is just to cover all the questions we get by email, social media, on our sessions, and just to put this value out there because I feel that these are usually the questions that most people may have when starting an Amazon business or when running an Amazon business. And I know when usually you're getting started in the e-commerce space, it's a very lowly place. Or, I mean, specifically at the beginning, that you don't know the right communities. Maybe you don't have your group of people that you can discuss your Amazon related things. And I think this is going to be an amazing space for that, right? You can ask your questions, nobody's going to judge you. And yeah, just have fun, right? uh, Now, before we jump into the questions, which actually we got quite a few, I don't think we're going to be able to cover them all today, but I'm going to make sure to roll them over in the next following sessions. First of all, I want to remind you, yesterday we just dropped another episode with Cassandra from Healing Them. So the reason why I want to point out this episode is because there are a lot of new changes coming up to Sell and Scale Summit from Healing Them. It's happening from 19th to 23rd on September this month in Vegas, which basically means almost 12 days, 13 days away from that event. So a lot of things have changed. There are still some tickets left. I think VIP is sold out, but still there's some normal tickets. I'm gonna be there, so looking forward to meet you there. And yeah, you're gonna learn a lot from that. So definitely check it out. The second thing I want to point out is that last week, actually, we didn't have this session of questions and answers. So I also want to point out that last week we dropped a lot of new episodes. So one of them is around how you can scale your brand outside of Amazon, which was a very good episode that was on Wednesday. And I believe on Monday we also have an episode. The episode was very nice as well. It was regarding how you can actually do everything that has to do with basically mitigating risk, right? So the first episode that I mentioned, which is scale outside of Amazon, was with Jordan West, and the one on Monday was with Pradeep Kumar, very close friend of mine, around how you can do and deal with risk mitigation. So check those two episodes which we dropped last week. And now let's get started with today's session. So I want to start first with the news. So usually give an update around the Amazon space, things are going happening. Once we finish with that, which I think I want to highlight a few things, then we jump into the questions and answers. Okay. The first thing I want to mention, which I actually already mentioned on my session on Thursday last week, which was my first comeback, official comeback to these live sessions, was the Spanish one on Thursdays, which we also do at 5 p.m. GMT time. So the first update I want to bring to you guys is that prepare everything that has to do with your inventory, specifically your inventory for what we call Q4. So Amazon has already announced, and you can actually even find this within your Seller Central accounts, the official dates by when inventory should be there. So if you're looking to sell inventory for what we call Black Friday or Cyber Monday, usually you want to have all your inventory there by November 4th. And then also, if you're looking to take advantage of Christmas, which I know most people is looking forward to that, you want to have your inventory on Amazon within December 11th, right? So write down those dates, very important. Usually I try to stay very far away from those dates. It's not like deadline is 11, you're going to send it on the 10th. Try to send it at least the first week of December, and in the case of November, actually towards the end of October. So always get at least 1 or 2 weeks before the actual deadline, because a lot of people wait on the last minute and then you might still miss it, even if it's within the window, right? So that's it, the first update I wanted to bring. The second update I wanted to bring, which is something very interesting, Amazon just released something called the new reference price requirements for Prime exclusive deals. So this new basically thing that they brought out is now we need to make it very clear in terms of how we express to a client what is the actual price they are getting the discount from, which is the reference price. So they want to make sure that it's very clear what was the reference price and what is the discount they're getting. And they actually put a minimum for all these promotions. So if you're doing a promotion for what we call prime exclusive discount, needs to be at least a 5% discount and up. And if you're doing something for Prime Day, Black Friday, and all those specific like exclusive things like also Cyber Monday, it needs to be 10% as a minimum. And you need to be very clear of what is the reference price. And what I mean reference price is what was the original price and not make it up, right? So that was a very interesting update. I think Amazon is pushing more towards being more transparent with pricing, because we all know that Amazon, I mean, I have seen that a lot in blogs and people in social media talking about this, that they have realized a lot of sellers on Amazon, they just inflate the price to make it seem like you're actually getting a discount, but you're not. And people is realizing that. So I think Amazon want to make clear that they want to not be known by fake discounts, but actually real discounts, which is one of the pushes they're doing with some of these new requirements they're pushing. Okay, so that's the second thing I wanted to bring. Now this let's move now straight into the questions we have for today. I'm gonna start by bringing some of the questions to the table, and again, if you have any question at all, something's not clear, feel free to interrupt me, drop it on the chat. I'm gonna be more than happy to bring it to the live. Okay, so let's start with the first question of the day. So the first question of the day is how to use flat files. Okay, so flat files. Flat file is something that I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen more and more lately. And for example, a very close friend, Vanessa Hung, she talks a lot about flat files. A flat file is actually something very powerful. I mean, if you know how to use it, you can definitely do big things with that within the Amazon ecosystem, because the reality is flat files are not widely used across the board. I would say maybe 70% of people don't use it, even higher. And the reason for that is complicated. You know, flat files is basically an Excel file with a lot of columns, a lot of details, data. I mean, you can get a headache just by opening the file. So it's complex, right? However, if you know how to master it, you can do good things with that. And why do I say that? Because flat files usually give you access to an undiscovered world of things, attributes that you don't get access by the normal Amazon interface, right? And this is very important because, first of all, you can use that to fully optimize your backend, which means most of your competition is not going to have those attributes, which you might get discovered by specific keywords, which your competition is not getting discovered by, or attributes or filters. Filter is also something that we underestimate. I can tell you how many times I have seen people, even sometimes I saw my mom shopping on Amazon, and when she was scrolling, she was using the filters on the left hand side. And to be honest, I never used the filters, but I realized that over time, especially people of higher age, when they actually take time and not like them like us, that they just see the picture and do an impulse buy, which they actually do the diligence when shopping. They use the filters to look materials, different attributes of specific categories. And if you have that fully optimized, when they apply the filter, if the competition is not making, let's say, optimization for the material made out of steel, and you're going to be the only one showing on the search results, and that's a side you want. So that's one of the powerful things you can do with flat files. The other things, you can protect your listing. A lot of things, one of the mistakes we see as well is basically what it can happen is that if you don't fill the back end of a flat file, somebody can come in and basically can hijack your listing, and not just hijack it, can put keywords on the back end that can get your listing blocked, right? So keywords that have to do with the other category, or categories that maybe are not even sometimes not even the category. It can be just terminologies like claims, like things like pesticides and things like that, which is a nightmare. And if you don't have all that fully filled, then it's a weakness you have in your listing. And those, to be honest, are just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, flat files is such a complicated thing that you could spend days and days going over that. But yeah, I would say definitely everybody should start learning about that, because I think with how competitive Amazon is becoming, we definitely need new ways to differentiate and take the most out of the Amazon system in terms of being fully optimized. So definitely explore it for sure. Learn from reliable resources and make sure that once you know how to use it, take full advantage of that. Okay. Awesome. Next question. How long does the honeymoon period usually last? So the honeymoon period is usually the period when you start selling on Amazon. That Amazon give you the benefit of the doubt, right? It means because your product has no history, it's gonna position your product much higher than what a normal product would. With a because basically Amazon doesn't know how your product performs, so they're gonna put you on top in terms of some of the keywords, make you rank faster, and see if you actually can stake what we call at the launch, right? Because if Amazon give you the benefit of the doubt and you get more views and impressions than normal, but then you convert very quickly to sales and you actually start proving to the Amazon algorithm that you're actually worthy of the traffic, you're gonna get what we call organic ranking, right? So honeymoon period usually lasts. I mean, nobody has an exact number. To be honest, everybody that's tell you a period of honeymoon period, they are doing an educated guess based on what they see, right? And that's the same I'm gonna do right here. So usually in terms of honeymoon period, where we usually see the amazing boost of, as we call it, of impressions and everything, it's usually around 45 days. 45, 60 days as a max. That's usually what the honeymoon period lasts. But yes, it definitely exists. And that's something you definitely need to take advantage. That's why before launching a product on Amazon, you need to make sure that you have everything fully optimized in terms of the listing, the keywords you're gonna target and everything. Because if you don't take advantage of this boost you get at the beginning, you might not get it back, and then you need to basically relaunch the product. Okay, but yes, it definitely exists, and that's usually the window you're looking, 45, 60 days at least from experience. Okay. Awesome. Next question: how to get A plus content premium? So yeah, A plus content premium actually last month it was rolled out to all brand register sellers. It was something more exclusive before. Like you need to, it had many more criteria to check to get the A plus content, but now they made it widely available to all the brands. The only thing is that there's still requirements, so they made it available to all the brand owners, which nobody had access before by the traditional means of brand register. But now they still ask you for some criteria, some minimum criteria to be able to access the content, the premium content straight away. So these criteria is that you need to have at least 15 A plus content approved in the last 12 months. So that means you need to have at least 12 products, 12 chart ASINs, whatever A plus content designs that they got approved by Amazon. Once you get done, you get access to the premium content, and premium content is much better than the normal one. You get like specific um, blogs that now have interaction with the customer, like image, slide link, comparison, and tables moving around and things like that. And it can be very powerful, depending on the category for sure. But yeah, that's the criteria. So if you have at least 15 designs in the last 12 months, you should get straight access to that. If you don't, just raise a support ticket with the brand register team and you should get it. Okay. Awesome. Next question. Best strategy to compete in a category where all competitors lower prices. Yeah, I mean, when this happened, most likely the productization, and without even knowing your product, I bet most people in the first page have exactly the same product. And when you have this, is you're just a commodity. It's like you're trying to sell salt, right, or sugar. I mean, what is the difference between one sugar and another? Maybe the packaging, maybe you could say the quality, but at the end of the day, it's sugar, right? The same thing happening with these products. So if they are very similar, there isn't really something that can differentiate one from another. The only thing you can compete is in price, right? So if that's the case, it's very tricky to compete there. I mean, you could try to revive it by maybe doing something unique when it comes to the experience of the product, maybe a specific bundle, specific packaging, that when they get the packaging, they get a specific access to a club, where maybe, let's say you're selling a water bottle, right, which is a super saturated niche. But let's say, which again, it wouldn't be profitable, but let's say that when you sell the bottle, you get access to a network of gyms for free just by having the bottle. Imagine if you could do that. I mean, on paper, it's not going to be profitable because having that access to all your clients is going to be super expensive for you as a brand. But that will definitely be a reason for people stop thinking about price, but actually thinking about the experience they get with your water bottle. So things like that, right? Again, that's complex. That takes time. That takes money. So that's why, in order to avoid that, r- in terms of having to compete at this high level of strategies, I would rather from day one try to focus on something that is not saturated, and this can easily be done from day one, guys. I think the issue I see a lot is that you see these TikToks or things in social media of people saying, "Oh, look how I made a million. Just go to Alibaba, $1 and sell it for $12 and make millions." And but they don't tell you how much they spend on PPC, how much they spend on launch, how much they spend on influencer marketing, the FBA fees, and maybe they just made $100, right? So try to stay out from those trendy products. I think the days of just selling something trendy and making about a huge budget, those are over. Now it's all about bringing something unique to the market. And when I say unique, usually there are a few main points, right? The branding for sure nowadays, then the pain points that you are solving that other people's not doing. So features, technology, materials, things like that that you bring to the market. And the third thing is trying to also enter into within a niche that there isn't a somebody dominating, right? So for example, I was talking the other day with a guy that he wanted to jump into the protein space, like selling whey protein. And if you jump to a space, there are already monsters dominating that brands, right? So what you want to avoid is jump into spaces where there are already huge brands that are gonna make it super difficult for you to enter those markets. So those are some of the tips. Again, you can go much deeper: customization, manufacturing, main manufacturing, very niche in places that nobody has taught before in terms of specific materials or techniques. But again, try to avoid the typical and just going by Alibaba and find the quick trendy ones, because you're going to encounter this issue. Awesome. Next question: how many times I can reach out to my customers? So I guess you're wondering regarding sending like emails to them through Seller Central. So usually the max you can use when it comes to reaching out just once, and you can just use it for asking for a review. Therefore, if you're asking for a review already within Amazon, try to not send an email, or if you're sending an email, try to not ask for a review, because you can ask for a review just once. um, Within an email, I would try to stay away from things like positive review or things that have nothing to do with asking for a review, because you can't really use that email for upselling, right? If you want to upsell another product or promotion, you can't really do that. Where you can do that is with inserts. So you can be very strategic with your inserts, maybe make people register for a specific manual or a video or a training or a specific club that they get 15% for life per month for your products, things like that. So that's usually when you can really establish a communication. But within the Amazon ecosystem, like using email marketing, a normal messaging, I wouldn't advise you to do that. However, as a brand, there are some brands that already are rolling out email marketing strategies, and Amazon is already allowing you to use some of their templates to establish some upsell techniques for your clients. However, this is just beta; not all the brands have it. But I definitely see Amazon that is pushing towards allowing more marketing strategies within email, which are going to be rolling out very soon. I mean, right now is beta, but they are working on that. Building more templates so you can basically do strategies within the Amazon ecosystem, right? Using their channels and their own email API to communicate with your clients. Okay. Awesome. Let's see which other question we have. Sponsor products or sponsor brand? Which one is better? Mm, I mean, usually the one you're gonna get the best return on your investment is sponsor product. That's for sure. I would say if I need to give you a percentage, usually 70%, 60, 70% of your brand's campaigns are always going to be sponsored products. The other 30, 40%, you're going to have a balance between sponsored brand and sponsored display, which you didn't mention here. Now, why sponsored product is always the one that's going to give you the best return on investment? Because sponsored product is built to target a ready customer they have an intent for purchase, right? So usually with sponsored product, if you do keyword targeting, you're already targeting keywords that if a person is typing that keyword is because they want to purchase that, right? However, with sponsor brand, taking aside video ads, which can also be very um, good in terms of finding customer intent. Sponsor brand, when you do banners and things like that, is more built for creating brand awareness, right? Because remember that usually when you do sponsor brand advertisement, like if you do banners or advertise your store, you're actually showcasing a full catalog, right? So rather than focusing on specific product, you're showcasing a full range of products, and you try to convey those clients looking for maybe vitamin C to also discover your full range of vitamins, and you also sell vitamin D and vitamin whatever, and your full catalog, right? So that's the purpose of sponsor product. However, if you target the right keywords, which those keywords for sure needs to be first validated in sponsor product before brought to sponsor brand by doing a video campaigns and things like that, that's usually the most profitable way, because if you launch sponsor brands on all the keywords that you're also going to do sponsor products with, most likely it's going to be very unprofitable, because sponsor brand is just to enhance, right, and keep controlling specific keywords that you have already validated by then putting your brand as an authority on those keywords. So the way you do that is first discovering which are the most profitable keywords at the product level, and then expanding as a brand on those keywords. And then you have sponsor display, right? Sponsor display is more a retargeting tool. You also have some product targeting, right? Which is sponsor display, which if you know how to target the right async can actually also be very profitable. But at the same time, one of the main tools of sponsor display is targeting audiences and retargeting. So when you target audiences, right, and when you do retargeting, the first thing that you need to mention is that when you do retargeting, usually you wanna make sure that you do it first on clients that definitely gonna purchase from you, right? And the way you do this is by within sponsor display. For example, you can target people that saw similar products, or saw a similar ad, or for example, that already purchased from you in the past. So, for example, let's say you're selling supplements, you could retarget people that purchased from you in the past and show them a product 30 days later so they can purchase your product again. So that's why sponsor display usually is more as a basically top of the funnel as well, because you're retargeting people, and even if you're not retargeting using audience, you're targeting audiences as a broad, trying to bring them into your funnel and bring them down to the bottom where the sale happens. So usually when getting started, sponsor products where you get the best result, especially if you're a brand that doesn't have any awareness. And then slowly I would definitely start adding sponsor brand, sponsor display to add that formula, which I already explained. Okay. Awesome. So let's see which other question we're gonna hear. Next question: do you recommend VAs for Amazon business? Yeah, I mean, when it comes to scaling your Amazon business, and I have brought multiple guests to guests to the podcast. We always talk about how it's super important to build a team, right? So BA is the best way for you to scale your business further, because you can find the strategic people in the space. For sure you need to do your diligences, or you can even find BAs that have a common knowledge about the commerce space, and then you can train them around Amazon. And I think then you can find people that can help you with everything that has to do with listing optimization, everything that has to do with PPC optimization, product research. And then you need to reach a point where you actually become the person that works on the business, right? And in the business, right? Because if you on a daily basis try to solve all the messaging, all the inventory, all the PPC, even if you think that it takes you 1 or 2 hours, it adds up, right? And it's also mental energy that it takes from you to actually behave as the founder of the brand and actually think more in the long term and the strategic side of things of the brand, right? So that's why I would say definitely if you can afford VAs, and the first thing I will do is look into that, because I think building a team and then building a system that can work without you is the only way you can really bring the Amazon business to the next level. Specifically when you're starting to reach 6 to 7 figures, you're definitely gonna need that. Otherwise, you're gonna struggle with all the things you need to do on a daily basis. Awesome. Let's see, next question. Launching my first my product but my PPC get very low impressions. Why? So yeah, the reason for this most likely is because you're having either indexation issues with some of the keywords. I mean, if you have no impression at all, I will check first your indexation. Make sure your listing is full optimized. Make sure your keywords are well positioned across your listing, like title, bullet points, description, search terms, and so on. Once you have fully defined that that's the case, then I will actually also make sure that your bids are competitive enough, right? Because if you're advertising on a keyword that the traditional bid is $3 4 right now, and you're bidding $1 or $2, there's no way you're gonna show on those keywords. Or if you do, you get very low impressions, which is usually during times that everybody's out of stock, and most likely you're not gonna get enough sales, right, to make that keyword valid. So I would say check indexation. If that's not the issue, check the bids. Most likely those two things, if you check them properly, should fix the issue with low impressions. And I think the third thing, just to add on top of that, make sure your product is in the right category. If your product is not in the right category, most likely that's also gonna give you low performance in the PPC, because then by having, let's say, you're selling a toy and you are within the sports category, Amazon is not gonna give you the basically relevance score related to be advertised on those specific keywords of your niche, because you are saying to Amazon that you are within the, in this case, I said the toys category, but your actual product is sports or vice versa. So you need to make sure you have the right category to make sure the PPC and also the indexation works well for your listing. Okay. Awesome. Next question. Do I need to file a trademark on each country I sell? No, actually, that's why a lot of people file the trademark in the UK, because it's one of the countries that is the quickest and the fastest and actually the cheapest. And then you can use that trademark to apply for brand register across the globe. Once you get it in one country, it gets approved across all the accounts. The only thing you need to consider is that by getting brand register, yes, you are protected in terms of having the brand register features, but still having the trademark just in the UK is not going to give you as much protection in other countries as if you had the trademark in those countries as well. So I would advise, if the brand is really scaling and you really see that you are going to expand internationally, for sure look into expanding your trademark cover across multiple countries, because being just in one country definitely can help you at the beginning to get brand registered, get started on Amazon, all that. But ideally, you will want to have it across your main areas where you want to expand international. Okay. Okay. I think this is the last question for today's session. Have you used Amazon Post? Is it good? Yeah, Amazon Post is very good. I mean, it's something that is kind of also on a beta rollout. Is usually is something that you see people implementing the most in Amazon USA, and I think it's actually just available in Amazon USA at the moment. And Amazon Post is just basically something like an Instagram but within Amazon, right? So each brand is gonna have their profile. They can put their images. They can showcase the catalog, put caption, etc. And it's actually something that I see evolving a lot in the coming months, because I feel Amazon is pushing more and more towards branding. That's why they did Amazon Live to create this space for the brands. And then you see how they're pushing so strong with brand register and all the features they're running for brands. And then Amazon Post is just the trial for entering also the social media space. And I think if you have like customer generation content, right? Like let's say you sell your product to customers and you put in an insert that if they send you a selfie with your product, they get 15% off on the next product. And you create enough content with this, you could use it to then create an Amazon post and create social awareness, right? You remember, people shop with the eyes, and what I mean by this is when they start seeing that other people actually enjoying the product, and they actually start feeling that they can actually want to be part of that community or that lifestyle or something like that, that actually helps a lot for convincing people to come and try your brand. So Amazon Post can definitely give you that, because then you can even link that to your products. You start creating your following, and then when you create your following, you can do very nice things with that. For example, you in things that you can do with your following. For example, in Amazon Live, you have a big following. You can even announce them when you go live. there are definitely some tools in the making, like announcing new promotions when you're launching new products, or reaching out to your follower. So I think the follower, and that's why Amazon is releasing following Amazon Live and Amazon Post, is something that they're gonna be enhancing more and more. I think their goal is making sure that as you get these followers, you get more freedom to interact with them in strategies, as the one I already mentioned. Okay. Awesome. So I think that would make it for today's session, guys. So thank you very much for everybody that has joined today. Remember, if there is something that wasn't clear, leave it down in the comments. I'm gonna make sure to check them and answer them for you. If you have any specific question, remember that maybe we didn't cover today, feel free to send it our way, either by email to our team or social media, whatever is the channel that you prefer. We'll make sure to cover in the next one. And that's it. So remember, tomorrow, actually, I just wanted to brought that up. We're also releasing a new episode. So stay tuned. Very interesting topic. I want to keep it as a surprise for you. So just remember to go tomorrow around 5 p.m. GMT time as well to YouTube, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Okay. Awesome. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for being here. I wish you an amazing rest of the week. Take care. Until the next one. Bye bye.